No need to repeat anything. We have already received all the information from your agency. He forced an awkward smile and bowed. I'm sorry. She then looked at you as if she has no interest in talking to you, and she seems that she just wants you to leave her side as soon as possible. Mr. Lee, show her Jungkook's room and you, she said looking at you. Yes? You have to take care of him and I don't want any complaints. You have to take care of each and everything. I'll try my best. Mr. Lee will explain you everything. She said, rolling her eyes before leaving while her behavior caught you off guard as if she was just forcing herself to say so. Come this way, I'll walk you to the young master's room. You nodded and started to walk with him. A week ago, he got into an accident and got severely injured. Because of that, he has several injuries, especially his right shoulder. Because of that, his hand is not working. You nodded after listening to him. Young master is not really sociable and he doesn't like meeting people. Most of the time, he prefers staying inside his room. He turned his face towards you. I'm telling you all this because you might face some difficulties working for him, but he's a nice guy, so I hope you won't give up. Don't worry, this is my work and every patient is equal for us. I will try to do my best. He smiled and nodded. No wonder why you are on the list of most preferred nurse. You chuckled slightly and bowed. This is young master's room. Good luck. You nodded. I'll go now. Yes, thank you so much. He smiled and walked downstairs while you grabbed the doorknob and inhaled deeply before twisting it. You opened the door and welcomed by the darkness. Not even a single lamp was on, which made you confused. You slowly walked inside and started to search for the switch because you thought Jungkook may not be in the room. Suddenly, your face hit something hard, or you can say someone's chest. You immediately stopped there and looked up, but it was hard to see his face as it was all dark. The odd thing was that he is all silent. You tried to reach the nightstand to turn on the lamp, but your foot hit the edge of the bed and you tripped. You fell on the bed along with Jungkook while your head on top of his bare chest. Aish, he groaned, making you quickly got up as you immediately turned on the lamp and looked at him, who groaned in pain, holding his shoulder. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Jungkook looked at you annoyingly. Who are you and how did you came in my room? I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Kang Wayan and I'm a nurse currently appointed as your caretaker. He gestured you to stop as you pressed your lips together. He got up from the bed and now you could clearly see his bare upper body and his right shoulder was covered with bandage. He walked past you and turned off the lamp again, inviting the darkness in his room. Never turn on any light without my permission. He walked inside the bathroom, making you wonder why he said that. I think I need to work a lot harder than I thought. You sat on the bed and sighed. Next day, you came back in the mansion. Yesterday, nothing much happened, and Jungkook had no interest in talking to you. In fact, he simply ignored you like you didn't even exist. You knew it's going to be hard. Today, again, you have to face more challenges in dealing with him. You were going upstairs when two maids who were cleaning the living room stopped you. Excuse me? You turned back and looked at them. As they came near you, the second one spoke out of curiosity. Are you the new nurse of Black Prince? Black Prince? The first maid nudged her elbow, gesturing her to stop. She smiled awkwardly and looked at you. Nothing, she just wants to ask you if you are a new nurse of young master. You nodded. Yes, they both smiled awkwardly, making you a little uncomfortable. Mr. Lee walked inside the living room while they both went back to their works. You shook your head and walked upstairs. You came inside Jungkook's room and he was sitting on the bed with his laptop. You slowly put your bag on the table while he spoke. Kang Wyan, 23-year-old registered nurse. He slowly shifted his eyes on you. That's right. Have you eaten anything yet? Cause I have to give you medicines and also change your dressing. Shouldn't you be the one who take care of all this? You looked at him puzzled. It's 10 already and I think you should eat your breakfast by now. Who do you think gonna bring that for me? What are you here for? You sighed and nodded. Okay, if you want me to do that, then fine, I'll be right back. You walked out from the room while Jungkook shifted his eyes back on the laptop looking at your picture. It's really hard to understand what he wants. Mostly he stays in his room and don't interact with people. He can be dangerous sometimes. She was the same maid as earlier who called Jungkook Black Prince, and from then you were so curious to know why she said that. Earlier you called him Black Prince. What does that mean? She looked a bit afraid. She looked around to make sure no one is around as if she'll get into trouble. It's just slipped my mouth. You didn't look pleased with her reply, so she continued. Okay, I'll tell you, but promise me you won't let this out. You nodded. I promise I won't tell anyone. She came a bit closer and spoke in a low voice. Actually, here everyone called him Black Prince because he likes to live in darkness, even his room. Didn't you notice? You nodded. Yes, but why he do that? I don't know. He's not even close to his family and especially Mrs. John. Maybe because she's Mr. John's second wife, his mistress. Mistress? Shh, don't say it loud. It is said that his first wife committed suicide after knowing about Mr. John's affair, and at that time, young master was only 10. He don't really like his stepmother and especially her son, who is few years older than him. Young master is an outcast in his own family and because of lack of attention and love, he isolated himself like that. What about Mr. John? Doesn't he care about his son? She shrugged her shoulders. He loves his son, but Mrs. John tried to draw all his attention towards her son, and that's why he is a spoiled brat. He doesn't even respect anyone. What's going on here? She quickly started to do her work when the headmaid walked inside the kitchen. Are you preparing breakfast for young master? Yes, but please from tomorrow onwards, prepare it beforehand because he needs to take his medicines on time. Provide us the meal plan and we'll cook according to that. You nodded and picked the tray before walking away from the kitchen. You came back in the room and amused to see him sleeping. How can he sleep in the morning? You put the plate on the table and walked near him. Jungkook, if you're sleepy then please sleep after taking your medicines. It's already late. He doesn't respond so you have no choice but to wait for him to wake up. You looked at his sleeping face. You felt bad for him as he went through a lot from such a young age, and now you understood why he kept himself in dark because he never experienced the color and beauty of life. Can you stop staring at me now? Your heart dropped when he suddenly turned his face towards you and opened his eyes. You felt so embarrassed. Why are you looking at me? I was not. I was just trying to wake you up so that you can eat your breakfast and take medicine. He sat down, but you could see him struggling with his right hand. Careful. You helped him in sitting while your faces came closer and you both paused there. You immediately looked to other side and straightened up. Your breakfast is here. You turned back inside before picking up the tray and walking back at him. Would you manage to eat by yourself? Do I look like a kid? I was just asking. You placed the tray in front of him. After eating, you gave him medicines and currently doing his dressing. Ah, he hissed. Sorry. You removed the bandage and started to clean the wound. He got surgery done and the scar was fresh. Do you even know how to do your job? I'm sorry, I'll be more careful. You were applying ointment on his wound while his eyes were fixed on you. You could feel his eyes on you, but you didn't say anything and didn't even look at him to make him feel awkward. How did you got into such a big accident? I was driving while I was drunk. Your hand paused as you looked at him, but then you again started to do your work. It's okay, mistakes happens, but you should be careful. It can cost you your life. Life is cruel already. You looked at him. No, it's not. It can be harsh sometimes, but it's beautiful. Struggles and hard times make it more beautiful. That's how you find out what you have achieved. And how can you prove that? Your eyes again interlocked with each other. His question was deep because you knew no matter what, you can never feel the pain he has went through. He has seen the cruelty of life in such a young age. You would never know without trying. You finished his dressing and helped in wearing his shirt. Days started to pass and Junko got a bit comfortable around you, as if found a best friend who stays with him all the time and take care of him. He likes how positive you are and also filling his life with positive energy. You knew what he has went through and why he has isolated himself from the world. He never got to know about the beauty of life, neither he felt the essence of love. He caged himself in the darkness and no one tried to get him out from here. You pity him and that's why you not only wanted to heal him physically but also mentally. You wanted him to feel how beautiful life can be. How is he doing now? He's healing faster than expected. He nodded. At least he listened to us this time, or else it is impossible for any caretaker or anyone to survive with him. You're doing a great job. He needs some emotional attachment to someone he loved, or maybe he used to love, because locking yourself in a room for years and cutting all the ties from outside the world is not a good sign. And sir, I think you should have taken care of that from the start. Mr. John looked at you. I know that, but he himself has done all that. I understand you, sir, but maybe something from past, like some old memories that are hard to forget, bothering him. I don't think he's much attached to his mother. You knew what you were doing, but you just wanted him to think about it because he's the main reason of his son's condition. He himself made his life like that. You looked at him in disbelief, but sadly you couldn't even express it. But even after all this, you could see the restlessness on his face. You came in his room for giving him medicines and checking on him for last time before going home, but got amused after finding out he's been drinking and the smell of alcohol was everywhere. You walked near him. Junko, were you drinking? He slowly lifted up his face and you could see him smiling for the first time. You flinched when he hugged your waist. I was feeling lonely, so I had some. You should go out and talk to your family instead. Drinking is not good, Jungkook, especially when you are on medication. I have no one to be worth calling family. He caressed his hair while he rested his head against your stomach, hugging you. You should rest now, sleep well. Don't go home today. I want you to be here with me. He broke the hug and lifted up his face to look at you. I can't stay here at night, Jungkook. Why? It's my order. I want you to be with me here. I don't feel good when you leave me, and as a caretaker, you should do your job carefully. But Jungkook, it's not possible. I didn't even inform anyone about it. He got up and looked at you. Call them and tell that you are not coming tonight. He said, walking to the bed while you sighed. I'll stay here until you want and then I'll go. You didn't even able to complete your sentence before he turned his head towards you and spoke. Your wish, I don't care. He lay down on the bed. There was silence for a long time, and when you finally looked at Jungkook, he was sleeping. You covered him, but then you heard his slow sobs. When you looked at him, he was crying silently in his sleep. You were about to wake him up, but then you heard him talking in his sleep. Words were unclear, but still. You managed to understand some of them, and your heart broke when you realized he was talking to his mother. You patted his back as his tears were continuously falling down. He was calling his mother again and again. Everything will be alright, Jungkook. Don't worry. You stayed there sitting beside his sleeping figure the whole night. You were coming downstairs to get yourself some water as you also fell asleep while sitting and now your back was hurting too. There was no one in the living room or anywhere as it was still so early in the morning and was dark outside. You bumped into someone who was coming from the other side. I'm so sorry. You lift up your head and met the eyes of the guy standing in front of you. His brows were raised as he walked a little closer to you, making you nervous. As far as I know, we don't have this beauty in our mansion. What is your good name? What are you doing here, Tae? You looked at her who came in the living room while Taeyang's eyes didn't left her face. She stopped near both of you and looked at you. What are you doing here at this hour? You know her? He finally looked at her. Yes, she's Jungkook's new caretaker. A nurse as well. But why are you still here? She again asked. Actually, Jungkook was not feeling good, so he asked me to stay. You saw her rolling her eyes. Beauty with a beast. He looked at you. Stay away from him or else he'll make your life as dark as his. He walked upstairs while Mrs. John looked at you. From next time, no need to stay here at night, understood? She left from there while you scoffed unbelievably. The whole family is a mess. You get yourself a bottle of water and walked upstairs. You came in the room and Jungkook was already up. You walked near him and offered him water. He looked up at you. Your throat must be dry. Drink it. He took the bottle from your hand. Why did you came so early today? You frowned but then realized he doesn't remember anything you said because someone told me to do so. By the way, is that guy your stepbrother? You pressed your lips together when he looked at you. No one except Lauren, the maid, told you about his family's history. I'm sorry, you met him? You looked at him. I saw him first time, so I thought he's your brother. You said still looking down because you knew you shouldn't have to say stepbrother. Now he know that you know their family history. Did he said something to you? No. You said looking at him. Don't go near him, okay? You frowned in confusion, but you could also see the hate and anger in his eyes. Taeyang, he said, holding his hand out for a handshake while flashing his adorable smile. You smiled and gave your hand in his. I'm YN. 23-year-old registered nurse. You chuckled and nodded. You've got every details, I guess. He nodded. I didn't knew I would get to see such beauty after coming back to Korea. So sad that you have to work for Jungkook. I assume that no one has informed you about him. There's nothing like that. That's my work and I have no problem with it. You should also meet him and talk to your brother. We don't share any bond, so it's waste of time. You shouldn't say that. He's also your family member. He chuckled. He has no family at this point. Jungkook was looking both of you talking from the window. His hands were clenched into fists as his body started to tremble with anger. He walked in his room and started to throw things. You came back in the room and got surprised to see the mess Jungkook has created. You looked around and he was nowhere to be seen. You walked inside carefully, stepping, making sure not to get hurt by the pieces of glass scattered on the floor. Jungkook? You looked around the room and suddenly all the lights turned off, making it all dark, and you heard the door closed. Your heart started to beat fast. Jungkook, what happened to you? You could hear the sound of cracking of glass on the floor as he was stepping towards you while you swore. Why aren't you saying anything? Do it really matters to you? You frowned. What's wrong? Everything is going wrong since you came. What are you talking about? Just tell me clearly. You flinched slightly when he grabbed your shoulders. You could feel his breath hitting your skin. Leaving already? You looked at him. Yes. You were about to leave, but Yang grabbed your hand. You looked at him. Sorry. He let go of your hand while you looked away. Can I give you a ride to your house if you want? No, it's okay, I will. Your eyes widened as a scream left from your mouth when Taeyang got punched on his jaws, and it was no other than Jungkook. He grabbed his collar while Taeyang jerked his hands. Why don't you mind your own business? Jungkook, leave him! Taeyang jerked his hand. What the hell is wrong with you? He again threw a punch, making his lips bleed.